Hi, I'm Katie for RustiKate and RustiKate DIY.
And I'm Sarah from Dan and Sarah Makers.
And we are doing a collab video today, our first, so we're excited.
Yeah, very excited.
And what project are we going to be working on?
So today we're going to kind of upcycle 2 nesting baskets.
Nice.
I found them at Goodwill.
Like the Goodwill warehouse, kind of.
Yeah, so
sorting house.
maybe Express Outlet, something
I think
like
outlet. I think
okay.
you're right.
So I
them.
found 2 nesting baskets. I'm pretty sure they're made out of seagrass.
These are awesome. I love
Yeah,
the scale.
they're really cool. And you pay by weight, so they're not that expensive.
Mm-hmm. And didn't you say when you found them, they're like on 2 ends of the store?
Yeah, totally, completely separate from each other. And of course, I was just kind of wandering and looking around, and I'm like, I think I saw one of these on the other side of the store, and there they were. So, cool. We're going to dye them a different color. They're not quite the same color. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but
and they're somewhat faded. They look like they might have been.
I think they may have been nested together like that, and so then
yeah, the sun maybe faded them.
So we're gonna try dyeing them gray or black. I'm not sure what they're gonna come out like.
Kind of update the look, make it a little bit more edgy.
Yep. And maybe try and put some handles on it, leather handles, and see what they come out as.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We'll start getting the products together and we'll show you what we're going to be using today. So first thing we're going to be using is we're going to be using the RIT dye to color them. And this is actually my first time using the RIT dye, so this will be a learning experience.
I've never used the liquid, I've just used the powder, so again, we're going to give it a try. We're thinking since the seagrass is natural fibers that we're going to follow the instructions for cotton fibers since that's also a natural fiber.
Right, yeah, that's the closest thing we could find in the actual directions on the bottle. So we're going to use this to actually put the water and the dye combination in before we dip the baskets. And it's a container you'd use like at a barbecue. You put ice in it and then put your beverages inside. So we're going to use that.
And we're going to have to boil the water first. So that's heavy. We already put some water in it.
Yeah.
So we're going to fill this up with water and get it boiling and start the process for the dye bath.
And we may need, depending on how it goes, as we fill the other bucket, we may need more than 1 container of water.
So yeah, we might end up filling a lot. We've got boiling water. We're going to take this party outside and probably add the RIT dye once we've put the boiling water in the tub.
All right, so Sarah had this really great idea of adding a string to the bottom of each basket. We just inserted it through the hole and then tied it off. And this is so that after we dip it in the dye, we can actually hang it so they can dry evenly. Sarah's bringing the boiling water out now. Okay. Step back in case there's some splashing. That 1 pan of water filled the container up about probably 4 inches from the top. So it's a pretty good amount of water. We're going to add a little bit more just to top it off. We're also going to add, as part of the instructions on the RIT, we'll add a cup of salt to the mix. And the salt is what's called for on the RIT dye for when you're doing dye for natural fibers. Mix that up. We put a garbage bag down underneath just in case the dye gets over the edge so we won't do anything to the pavers.
And now, what do you think? How much should we put in?
This is the experimental part.
Yeah.
And then we've got 2 pairs of gloves, so we're going to each wear a pair of gloves. And you want to be careful because the water is really, really hot at this point. I'm just going to stir it nice and good here. Get that salt all dissolved.
And you shook this up.
Yeah, and so you just have to shake it really well. So we did that earlier. I'm going to grab the baskets.
Half?
Sure, start with half.
Find out. It's about half.
Yep.
Little one first? What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good.
It is recording, right? So one of the other things I learned from way back when I was costuming is that the more you agitate the fibers, the more likely it will accept the dye. So that's why we're not just letting it sit there.
You also want the even coverage too. So,
Yeah.
I feel like maybe we should switch it out, hang this one up, see how it looks in a few minutes, and if it's not as dark as we want, then we could re-dip it with the stronger dye.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to increase the strength of the dye. We're just going to go ahead and add the rest of the bottle in. Get every little bit of dye we can out of it. One more time. Here we go with the large basket, full strength red dye. Alright, so we're going to compare the two.
So it looks like this one's not quite as dark as this one. This one has more fibers wrapped around it, so it could be just that, but we're thinking maybe we'll put this one in the dye bath for a little bit longer. So we're going to swap them out.
Alright. Get my gloves back on here.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to rotate for a
Already
second
looking-
there while I get my other glove back on. A little bit darker. Yeah, I think the double strength on the red dye.
Yeah, look at this
That's good.
spoon.
Yeah.
Probably won't be using this for food preparation.
Yeah, maybe a
anymore.
craft spoon from now on. And I don't know if you guys were able to see it at home when we were doing the larger basket. The center was hard to get it evenly dyed, so we had to actually lean it up and dip it down to get the center part. But on this smaller one, it actually fits in the container well enough that it gets good coverage while we're rotating it. But just something to look out for when you're doing your own basket at home.
I think that's pretty close.
Is that pretty good?
Yeah.
All right, let's hang them up. And then we'll let them dry.
Yay.
That off. Okay, so this is how we have them drying actually. We hung them off of the string that we added to the center, and they're just hanging over a hook that's attached to the railing on the deck, and it's just a hook like you'd have a hanging basket on. So we're gonna let them hang here. This is the small one. We have the large one hanging on a separate hook, and we're gonna let them just cool and dry here in the fresh air. Okay, so that's our project for today. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I hope that you will comment, subscribe, like this video. Let us know if you've done similar projects, or if you are working on a project, or if you would like to work on one like this in the future. We would love to hear from you. And please do check out my YouTube channel, RustiKate and RustiKate DIY, and Sarah's YouTube channel, Dan and Sarah Makers. And if you do subscribe, make sure and hit that notification bell so you will get notified every time we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bye.